All right, cool. Factoring, 4 terms, and trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Last time we factored forms without a number in front of our trinomial. So this will be fun. Let's see what we got. So this first one, so 4 terms. 4 terms are actually, they're kind of fun to factor. So the way we're going to do this is by grouping. So we group the first 2 terms and we group the last 2 terms. So that means I'm just going to put them in parentheses, okay? So we have x cubed plus 7x squared and 2x plus 14. And then we take out the GCF from each binomial because we just created binomials here. So the GCF in the first binomial is x squared, so that's what I'm going to take out there. The GCF in the second binomial is 2x, so I'm going to take out there. Remember, GCF means greatest common factor. Okay, so you factor that out and you get x squared and then x plus 7 and then 2 and x plus 7. Now, that x plus 7, those parentheses should always be the same. If you get different parentheses, we did something wrong and we need to go back and double check, okay? And now we can pull that out to the front. So we have x plus 7, and then whatever's left becomes the other parentheses. So the x squared plus 2 from right here, this becomes the other parenthesis. Okay? And then you're done. It's freaking nice. So distribute to check your answer. Boom. Just gotta flip-flop the x squared and the 2x, and we're good. Right? Okay, let's do some examples. So this one, let's group the first 2, group the second 2. Those first 2 looks like we can take out an x squared. Second 2 looks like we can take out an 8. So we get x squared, x plus 4, 8, x plus 4. Those x plus 4s are the same. Hallelujah, we did it right. So we can pull out that x plus 4, and then you're left with x squared plus 8. Final answer. Check it. I forgot. It's okay. But yeah, if you want to double check, you can always double check that you got it right by multiplying it out. Okay? So look at this one. So w cubed plus 5w squared minus 8w minus 40. Now, adding a negative is the same as subtracting, right? We went over that in the last video, I know. So I'm going to change this so that we add a negative 8y, or 8w. You always want an addition sign between your parentheses, okay? So you don't ever want a subtraction sign between your parentheses because it gets kind of confusing. You always want an addition sign. So if you ever have a subtraction right there in front of your third term, just change it to adding a negative because that's the same as subtracting. Then we do everything the exact same. There is a little tricky thing here though. So in the first 2 terms, we can take out a w squared, right? The second 2 terms, 8 goes into both of those. But since the first number here, since this number was a negative 8, that's why we're pulling out that negative 8. Okay, so if it's negative, if the first number is negative, you pull out a negative. All right, so you get w squared and then w plus 5. Pull out that negative 8 and you get w plus 5. W plus 5's, same, sweet. We can pull out that w plus 5 and then w squared minus 8. Cool, let's do this one. It's another subtraction sign. So that's the same as adding a negative. Let's put those parentheses in. GCF in the first one looks like p cubed. GCF in the second one looks like negative 2. Remember, it's a negative because that first term's negative. Pull out that p cubed, you're left with p squared minus 6. Pull out that negative 2, you're left with p squared minus 6. Sweet. So the p squared minus 6's are the same. So you have p squared minus 6, 3p minus 2. Kind of fun, right? I want you guys to try those examples. And now let's get into factoring binomial or trinomials of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So now we just have an a. We've created this a. So the first thing we're going to do, sorry, I needed more room. The first thing we're going to do is draw an X. Start with a big X, okay? Multiply A times C and that will give you the top number. So here, A is 18. I'm going to write it over here. A is 18, B is negative 27, and C is negative 5. Okay, A, B, C. So 18 times negative 5 is negative 90. Okay, and then place B on the bottom of the X. So that's going to be negative 27. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what will multiply to be the top number and what will add to be the bottom number. So we're really doing this the same way that we did yesterday's. Just now our top number is a little bit bigger because we have to add it by or multiply it by whatever A is. Okay, so let's start with the factors of 90. So you have 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30, 4 and sad face because it doesn't work, 5 and 18, 6 and 15, 7, sad face doesn't work, 8, sad face doesn't work, 9 and 10. If you struggle finding factors, remember you can just do 90 divided by 1. That's how you get this one. 90 divided by 2 is 45. 90 divided by 3 is 30, so on. Okay? Now we need to see, will any of these add up to 27? Well, it looks like if I subtract 3 from 30, you get 27. So those two. But it needs to be a negative 27. So my 30 is the one that needs to be negative. And let's double check this. Double check this. So 3 times negative 30, that is negative 90. Okay. 3 plus negative 30, that is negative 27. All right, we did it right. So then let's place these on the sides of the x. So that's 3 and negative 30. Okay, cool. Now we are going to replace, I'm going to go back. So 3 and 30, these are going to replace your b value. Okay? So that's going to be 18x squared plus 3x. So you're just really adding x's here. Oh, sorry, shoot. You're just adding x's. So 3x, 30x. Okay? 3x minus 30x minus 5. And now let's factor this by grouping. Remember, add a negative because we want that to be an addition sign. Group those. The first two we can take out a 3x. Second two you can take out a negative 5. So you're left with 3x times 6x plus 1, negative 5 times 6x plus 1. Those 6x plus 1s are the same, so that's 6x plus 1, 3x minus 5. Cool. Okay, let's do this one. So we're going to multiply to get the top, and then just put the bottom one in. So that's 3 times 10, because A times C. That equals 30, and then negative 11. So we're going to see what multiplies to be 30, adds to be 11. We have 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 and a sad face, 5 and 6. Well, 5 and 6 are the only ones that are going to give me 11, and they both need to be negative. Negative 5 times negative 6 is positive 30. Negative 5 plus negative 6 is negative 11. Sweet. Now we can put those in. Notice here, there's not really much we can take out between, or no, we're okay, just kidding. Or no, we're not, I'm not kidding. So notice how the 3x squared and the 5x, the only thing you could take out of those would be an x. But if you swapped these, you could take out more, you could take out a 3x. Well, let's swap them then and see if we get a better result. Okay, so sometimes you need to swap them because we could go down and do this the way that we did it in the first one, so the 3x minus 5x, and do it by grouping or whatever, but then you're not going to end up with the same things in your parentheses. So that's why you have to swap them. Okay, there's still that subtraction, so we have to add a negative. Group the first two, group the second two. Those first two, we can take out a 3x. Second two, you can take out a negative 5. So it's going to be 3x, x minus 2, negative 5, x minus 2. X minus 2s are the same, so you have x minus 2 and 3x minus 5. Cool. Let's do another. So 8y squared minus 10y minus 3. Multiply to get the top, so 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. Negative 10 in the bottom. So we want to see what is going to multiply to be negative 24, add to be negative 10. So we have 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, 5, and a sad face. So will any of those add up to 10? Well, there's 2 of them that will add up to 10. We have 2 and 12 and 4 and 6. But we need it to be a negative. We need both of them to be a negative. So how are we going to get, so let's look at 4 and 6 first. In order to get negative 10, they both have to be negatives, right? But a negative times a negative is a positive, so that doesn't work. Let's look at 2 and 12. So 2 and 12, so 2 times 12, or 2 and negative 12 will give me negative 10. 2 times negative 12 will give me negative 24. So those are the ones that I'm going to use. Then we can plug them in here. So 8y squared plus 2y minus 12y minus 3. Add that negative, group them, pull out a 2y, pull out a negative 3. So you get 2y, 4y plus 1, negative 3, 4y plus 1. Those are the same. So that's 4y plus 1 and 2y minus 3. Cool? Let's do this one. So to get the top, it's 9 times negative 2, which is negative 18. The bottom is 3. So we have to see what will multiply to be negative 18, add to be 3. So we have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, 4 and sad face, 5 and another sad face, and then 6 is already up there. So will any of those combinations give me 3? Yeah, 6 and 3 will. One of them has to be negative though, and it's the 3. So that's going to be negative 6, or negative 3 and 6, sorry. Now, so then we can put them into this. So that's going to be 9m squared minus 3m plus 6m minus 2. Group them. We don't have to do the plus and negative thing because there's already a plus. Pull out a 3m on the first ones, 2 on the second. So that's going to be 3m, 3m minus 1, 2, 3m minus 1. Same 3m minus 1s. Cool. So it's going to be 3m minus 1, 3m plus 2. Awesome. I want you to try to do the rest of the examples. We'll definitely go over at least a couple of them in class before I send you loose to do the homework. Okay? Remember to take the quiz. You're awesome. Bye.